A renowned psychiatrist wakes up strapped to a chair in one of her own therapy rooms. A voice crackles over the intercom. It's one of her former patients, presumed dead for 5 years. "You said you could fix me. Let's see how good you really are." The next door unlocks, and a series of psychological games begin, each one revealing secrets from the psychiatrist's own past that no one should know. Dr. Eleanor Voss wakes alone in a dim, flickering therapy room where a fogged mirror reveals a distorted reflection of her former patient, Miles, whose voice whispers that he lives inside her mind. Haunted by unsettling flashbacks of their sessions, showing her cold and unethical behavior, she faces 2 doors marked Truth and Escape, choosing Truth. Eleanor enters a room where a tape recorder plays her own fearful confession about manipulating Miles's diagnosis. As guilt overwhelms her, the room distorts and closes in. Lights flicker violently, and Eleanor screams, desperate to fix both her past and herself before the darkness consumes her. No, that's not how it happened at all. When Dr. Eleanor Voss awoke in the darkness, she was disoriented and afraid. Then she heard a voice. It was the voice of Miles, but it wasn't a disembodied presence anymore. He was standing right in front of her. The therapy room was now her childhood bedroom, and sitting on the bed was a younger version of herself. She watched in horror as Miles revealed the truth. The sessions were never about fixing him. They were about breaking her. He said that she had buried the trauma of her past so deep that she had forgotten all about it. But he had brought it back to the surface. Now, as she pleaded with him that she only wanted to help, he accused her of using psychiatry to mask her own pain. The younger Eleanor finally spoke, saying that her adult self had abandoned the truth and left her behind. Overwhelmed with guilt, Eleanor collapsed to the floor as the shadows of her own broken past began to close in on her. Am I crazy, or was I right? In the last 5 minutes, Dr. Eleanor Voss, a psychiatrist, awakens on the floor. The room around her is glitching between a therapy office, her childhood bedroom, and an asylum cell. Her mind is fracturing under the weight of memory. She hears her younger self whisper that she made this reality, not Miles. Just then, Miles, her ex-husband, and the father of her child enters the room. He's colder but more composed than before. He tells her this was never about revenge, but about forcing her to face the truth. He then hands her a broken watch, which triggers a flashback. Years ago, Eleanor allowed a false diagnosis to be buried under institutional pressure, sealing Miles's fate. Back in the present, she snaps and hurls the watch as the room crumbles around her in a storm of guilt and denial. In the final moment, everything fades to white. We then see Eleanor sitting in a clean therapy room. A nurse approaches her and says calmly, "The session's over." Was any of it real? As Dr. Eleanor Voss sat in the pristine therapy room, a calm voice reassured her that the nightmare was over. But her eyes revealed a lingering doubt. The fractured memories and the haunting presence of Miles, they refused to fade completely. Suddenly, the door creaked open and there stood a figure from her past. Her mentor. His cold smile did not reach his eyes. It was clear that he knew more than he was letting on. Eleanor's battle wasn't just with her own mind, it was with the system that had betrayed them both. The realization hit her like a ton of bricks. She wasn't crazy. The therapy session was a trap. And the people who put her there were the same ones who had orchestrated the events that had shattered her life. Taking a deep breath, she stood up, ready to face whatever came next. The screen faded to black as she whispered, "Fix me."